Sean. Sean. It's live. Late, yeah, we're late, late, yeah, we're late. Seriously.
Hey man, you said you were ready. I hit live, and then
Sean.
Welcome everybody. Plumes of Hazards.
you'd think by
Almost a year and
50
we still can't nail
episodes
this
we'd have
shit.
this figured out by so far.
Understudy 77, Fubaka, the Angstful Vapor.
That doesn't have his mic plugged in yet. What up?
Wow,
Tu papá nunca me
this is
dijo
like
que
a
tenías que
throwback.
agarrar tu bicho que no te
Come on,
dolía. There you go, Fu. I just translated
man.
it for you.
Ay, mierda, lo siento.
Matt Blast 09.
Maz Blast 09. All right, got douchebag mic set up,
All right.
ready to go. Look, I got an overlay. Look at there. It's like we're prepared.
My camera's
No.
crooked.
No. Not even really a little bit. That's the thing. I was during the intro, but can I also say that I'm very happy that we've got the Lab Rat special music back because
Hey, man, my furnace dropped. My furnace just dropped the beat itself.
Yeah, we hear it. Now shut up.
Yeah, man. So hopefully everybody is doing well tonight on our 50 shows.
50 episodes.
5-0.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
A few
Number.
more shows and we'll catch up to Matt Williams in years.
I think this can't be like your favorite episode because it's a round number, right?
Yo, have you seen QERC how it sits up there at the top of the fucking bar going, "Hey, people are talking, people are talking, people are talking." I don't care.
Yeah, we don't pay attention. We have other people in chat now to pay attention.
Yeah, right. You freaking pay attention to that chat. You go like this. You do. Seriously,
Actually,
just
if
watch
I'm
it.
in the
Y'all
chat,
go
I'm
back and
looking
watch the
down, not
videos. Y'all go back and watch the videos. He goes, "Hey, Sean. Oh yeah, K-Fun. Rose. High horse.
The rose, however, is gone. My rose has been sold.
Let's have a moment of silence. You beat me to it. Hey, nice mute, man. I was just gonna say.
I just want to say that wasn't planned. Mass response to the mute.
I have a moment of silent click.
That was great.
Me and Mask are always vibing on the mutes. Always.
I know, for real.
So, you want to do what everybody's vaping?
Yeah, what you vaping on, Night Food?
Let's see. Vaping on something I haven't vaped on in a while. Perdition from Axiom on the Stolaire on the Griffin. Good old Creme de la Crepe in the Odin. I actually just rebuilt it. It took me a fucking hour to build because I kept screwing up one coil. I did like a super duper flavor build. I'll post a picture of it in chat. 12 wraps at 26 gauge, 0.58, 0.6. Very, very tasty. And of course, raspberry the K-Fun.
Raspberry the K-Fun.
Not Clar. Oh, that's me next. Sorry.
Dead air.
Bog standard RDNA rose raspberry.
What?
Tonight
River
I'm,
bottom foggy sauce?
No. No. In the Gryphon and the Tobe, I've got what have I got in there? Big
Oh
Blue.
my god.
Big Blue.
Oh my god.
Is this so delicious?
Oh my god.
Oh my
What the
god.
fuck is my plug?
Mm.
Got so much shit on my desk. I can't
Are you showing off your build in chat? Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't build often, but when I do.
But when you do,
But when
I've
he
also
does,
got Lushington and the Escape Fund on the DZ. What's you, Shauna?
I got on
5
the
on.
Solara. I have the K-Fun V4 with Raspberry, and I have a BAP DNA 40 also with Raspberry because I'm testing nickel wire and.
Nickel wire.
So I'll get to my thoughts on the temperature shortly, at least first impressions. But that's all for me. Just Raspberry tonight. Mast?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm reading the chat. I'm trying to be like you when I grew up. I'm vaping on the device. Yeah, 6 Mini. We're gonna be talking about it tonight, y'all. It's a beautiful thing. And inside the Holmes RDA. By the way, Holmes RDA made it on the top 10 best Addies under $40.
I saw that.
It's on there. It's on there. It's badass. So did the Tai G. We're also going to talk about that too. But in the Holmes, I got some of that Axiom Strawberry Cloud Rat. Delicious.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm vaping on.
Oh no, I guess I can ask you when you talk about it. Never mind. I was gonna ask about the Tai G, but we'll talk about it in a minute.
Yep.
We'll get to that. So what's on the docket? Do we want to go first into the major? Do we want to start with major crucifixions?
No. Let's do it. Candy asked us to do us a favor and wait 15 minutes before we do it.
Oh, that's true. She did. You're right.
So we're looking out for you, homegirl.
Mm-hmm.
So what else you got then, Fu?
I'm changing my batteries.
Clack.
Oh, shit's locked.
It's locked.
Clouds, bro, clouds.
Are we live?
We've been live.
Terribly enough. So is that all you got, Ahmed?
I mean, that's like what I want to talk about, but it's like we can jump into something else.
I have one thing. So the reason the show is called what it's called is I ordered a K-Fun 4 from the only place that was available, as far as I knew at the time, same time as Sean did, and my freaking K-Fun 4 is still not here. So USPS can suck my nuts.
Yeah, but is it USPS or is it
I think it's customs.
They have had it in their possession for over a week now, and it said Origin shipment is preparing whatever. It said there was no scans. There's no nothing.
Are you sure they didn't just print the label and it's sitting there on their box and someone hasn't shipped it yet?
Entirely not possible.
The reality of the situation is that it's the holiday season, and shipping gets fucking crazy, especially because our industry is very reliant on USPS. Unless you want to pay premium for UPS or FedEx, to my fellow vapors who are fed up with holiday shipping, deal with it.
I honestly, man, I think it was customs. I really do.
Then they could have at least scanned it, because normally when it goes through customs, it says it's sitting in LA or wherever. It's whatever coast it's coming into,
Yes.
and it says it's in customs.
Because mine took almost a week to get through customs and just showed up today. Although I just saw that a lot of the ones from Intaste DE aren't going to be here till like Wednesday or Thursday. So
Yeah, like mine, for example, because we ordered ours within 30 minutes of each other.
yes,
Shipped at the exact same time. Yours got there faster. Granted, admittedly, it's coming from the UK, and you're on the East Coast.
Wait, you ordered from two different places?
no, we both ordered from Cloud9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it definitely had a little farther to go, but the fact is they didn't scan it, and it's just obnoxious to sit there for a week and have no updates. That's not reasonable.
This has been a very popular show title already, though. The chat was just abuzz with terrible experiences.
Yeah, no, that's my only crucifixion tonight. It pisses me off. If it's gonna take a week, that's cool. Just tell me.
Well, Cloud9 does tell you it could take 3 to 15 days.
Mm-hmm. Which is stupid. But
that's a pretty big window.
It's a really big
is. I wonder if it's stock issues. Where they're saying, "Holy crap, this guy placed it here, from here to here. 50,000 of them has sold, so we have to wait to get more in the warehouse before we can ship it out."
They had a stupid number of them in stock.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid number.
Stupid.
And they all sold out.
Yep.
Like, I know In Taste alone had 4,000.
Well, yeah.
So I am going to share one other thing that I'm actually kind of excited about. So I didn't get on with the original one terribly well for a few different reasons, but this, present to everyone, this is the Chris Munn cap for the K-Fun 4, which I find to be exceedingly beautiful. I think it's even better looking than the other one, and the other one was, to me, it was a little short. I had some hard time getting the right drip tips. I've got, a dozen or more drip tips, and none of them fit except for one, that half-ass fit. I just couldn't get on with it very well, but this one apparently, the stock drip tip fits in there perfectly, and I'm actually pretty pumped about it. So I just want to share that because I don't even know what mod that is. We couldn't figure out what mod this was. If anyone in the chat knows, let me know because the mod's quite beautiful by itself, but I'm not getting that. I just want the cap.
That's funny. The finish on that looks a little different.
The finish on the
K-Fun or the mod?
On the K-Fun.
I agree. It looks a little brushed.
A little brushed. Yeah.
Yeah. The base does look kind of brushed. Here, I'll present again.
It is brushed, by the way.
Some trickery or ass hattery going on.
No,
there.
it's a brushed finish.
It just looks like it matches that mod.
Yeah.
Whatever mod that is.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Anyway. So that's pretty cool. We may be able to get a hold of one of those. I'm excited about it. There's also the G4 nano cap that's already out for it.
Yeah, there's quite a few things. There's quite a few aftermarket parts out for it already.
Yeah, there is. In fact,
I was wrong because didn't I anticipate that there wasn't going to be?
You did.
So
you did.
I was wrong.
And every now and then.
Most of the time, probably.
I've got a guy sent me a picture of his. It's called G4, right? I think it's called G4. Yeah, G4 custom top. Let me share this one too, just so other folks can see it in case you haven't seen it yet. Share. There we go. So it just replaces the old top cap there. It makes it a little shorter. I assume, like the Mun, you may or may not lose the top fill feature. We're not sure
With
yet.
that, you absolutely will not. I don't know about the Mun because you can't screw off the top cap from the tank.
Right. But if nothing else, you can always unscrew the cap on this one, right?
Yep.
Steam
Tuners guys have some really cool other parts too, man.
They do. They do. I saw this linked the other day, so I poked around on their site. They've got some pretty cool. They got cool looking drip tips and a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's it. I've just got some K-Fun 4 news and no K-Fun 4.
I only have two. I'm only going to say two things about the K-Fun 4 because I just got it today. But I will say two things. One, I now fully understand the phrase "the same animal but a different beast."
What the fuck are you talking about, Sean Thomas?
And two, the internal chimney. I just found this out right before we went live. The chimney that goes around the coils is apparently completely fucking optional.
So that's one less part in the crucifixions for too many parts.
Well, when I put everything back together, I forgot the chimney. It has not flooded. It has not leaked. It has vaped phenomenally all day with no internal chimney.
So why did you forget that chimney? Was it because of all the bullshit that you have to take apart since you're an experienced user, or was it just because the air up there got a little light and you got lightheaded and you forgot the chimney?
Probably.
This is an honest question because remember, this is going to be all the rage, and everyone's going to get the Fastic version. Everyone that really matters, which are the people down here, not you up here. And it's going to have all the same parts, so people are going to have all kinds of stuff to put together. So was it because of the pieces, or was it just an oversight?
Oversight.
Okay.
I will tell you there are a lot of pieces, and even having like the diagram model there, figuring out which pieces come apart was a little confusing.
Interesting.
The biggest realization that airflow. We talked about that airflow was going to be bad, the airflow adjustment, because you got to take out the 510 pin.
Yeah.
To adjust the airflow. It's worse than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It was a fucking nightmare.
I suspect. When I watched Basardo's video of it, it seemed like because he put it up to his mouth with a screwdriver in the bottom. Right?
You look ridiculous doing that.
Yeah, it was like adjust. Oh, there it is.
Yep, that's exactly what I did, and it was. I mean, the little screwdriver that Cloud9 sent me isn't long enough. I had to go find another little screwdriver, and it was a fucking nightmare.
I did just realize that I didn't fully say what I was going to say, which was the KFun 4 has been cloned already before I could even get an authentic one, and I was on the first friggin' batch, which is pretty impressive.
Things just get cloned faster and faster. I don't know why I thought it would be a month, but not the case.
I thought it was going to be at least a couple of weeks. I thought that the people that bought them immediately when they were available for sale would at least have them before.
Well, I feel like the KFun 4 is also probably the most anticipated release.
Yeah. Right. I mean, and it's been quite some time that people have talked about it before,
but they haven't seen it.
Well, and that's the thing, man. Every clone thread that I've seen, and I could be wrong on this now, but every clone thread that I've seen has been a pre-order. And almost all of them have been using pictures of the authentic, so I don't know that it's actually cloned yet.
Well, no, some of those didn't look like the authentic pictures. I don't know.
The one that you shared didn't. All the other ones did. The tobacco one looked like the authentic pictures.
Yeah, and I think a lot of them are saying, "Hey, these are just the stock pictures. What are you talking about?" So.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll be interested in how fast it comes out.
Yeah.
Sure. I did get to try two cheaper rebuildable tanks this weekend.
Oh.
Since we're on the tank thing, I got to try a sub tank, and I built a sub tank and a limo.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I know we've got a couple big. I think it's Stan the Man that's a big fan of the limo in the chat.
So the limo vapes great.
Hmm.
It feels like a piece of junk.
Why is that?
It is like the cheapest feeling Addy I have ever used. It is super thin. My buddy said he had one and he dropped it and it dented. Like, big dent, not little dent. Like, it is just really thin metal and feels really...
Is it like thin aluminum?
Yeah, ish.
Yeah.
But it vapes fucking great.
Yeah, but that's a positive. That's a plus side, I would say, because you don't really want a lot of weight up there, right? Yeah, I mean, you want something to feel solid, but who cares about it after you have it up there on the top, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not holding the Addy itself, unless you have a mech and you're putting your fingers all the way up there. But I mean, even then.
Yeah, even then, you kind of wanted to be a little balanced, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not see the deck, and I did not build for it, so I can't speak to that. But if you're looking for something that's on the lower side, on the lower price side, to kind of see if you like tank-style Addies, I would suggest the limo. It vapes almost as good as a K-Fun, if not pretty much on par. It's pretty much on par with like a K-Fun Light. So I was impressed with that. The sub-tank is fucking gigantic.
Yeah. Well, it comes with that freaking, like, 25 millimeter...
Yeah. It comes with a 25 to 22 millimeter beauty ring. It basically makes mech mods look like giant ego batteries.
We want your tanks to look like this.
So and my buddy had gotten one, and he just doesn't like to rebuild. So I said, all right, man, let me rebuild that head for you. I want to see if the rebuildable head actually works good, because the juice intake holes are really tiny.
Really?
Yeah, really tiny. It wicked surprisingly well. It worked surprisingly well. It was not as good as the limo, though, on the rebuildable side.
And it was 25 millimeter or whatever, right?
Yeah. On the non-rebuildable side, I did not try one of the pre-made coils, but I'll talk about why I would already prefer them compared to the Atlantis, and we'll get to that in a little bit. I also traded for a BAP DNA 40, so I now finally got a DNA 40.
Nice.
I got in an order of nickel today, and I tried it for the first time. And this is, my experience in the last couple hours is I'm not even a little bit whelmed with the temperature setting.
Not even a little bit whelmed.
Not even a little bit whelmed.
Super underwhelmed.
Yeah.
And that's on what, a K-Fun?
Yeah, that's on a K-Fun. I'm gonna try it with a dripper because I think I'll have a little bit more room to up the temperature more on a dripper and play with it a little bit more and kind of see what's going on with a dripper. But as far as with the K-foam goes, at least probably until I familiarize myself with it a little bit more. Not that much of a fan. I also need to try torching my nickel, which Mass suggested because I didn't do that, and I do taste it.
That's what I keep hearing is the nickel wire specifically is made with it's got some residual oils and stuff on it that you need to torch out.
Yeah, but it's so weird, man. It's so weird because it's some people are saying, oh, don't torch it, you don't do this, don't do that, and I just build it the same way that I've built my Kanthal stuff, So I don't know.
The BAP is a lot nicer than I thought it would be, though. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I used them before. The size and comfort factor is nice. I mean, it's ugly as sin. But it's comfortable.
Did you just get a plain colored one, or?
It's army green.
Okay.
And I like the color.
Yeah.
The coating actually takes away a lot of the roughness of the 3D printing process, which is nice, so it feels smoother. These little fucking screws, though. I don't have a screwdriver that fits that. I don't own a screwdriver that fits that, and it didn't come with one.
Well, you shouldn't have to open it, though.
Well, I want to open it because it's got a 0.5 ohm charger, or a half an ohm charger, and it takes 13 hours to charge.
Yeah.
I plugged it in last night dead, and it took 13 hours to charge. That's fucking
you need one of these guys.
Yeah, I do.
I ordered one from Fastech a while back just to have a multi-screwdriver, and it's because it was like $2. It's kind of a neat little thing.
I would rather take out the batteries. I actually really want to see if I can seat magnets in the back of this thing.
Yeah, I think the newer versions have magnets, don't they?
I don't know, but they should. They absolutely should, because that is a huge problem and design flaw, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, not very many people have, like the super tiny T1, T2 Torxes. I mean, I don't know what size that is, but that's a pretty unique screwdriver head.
Oh yeah. But other than that, I
mean,
it's pretty small and compact for being dual 18650. It works pretty well.
Yeah.
It's going to be probably a beater device, but it works well. I like it. The jury's still out on how I feel about temperature, and I'll get back to that. I have one last piece of big-ish exciting news, and I saved this one till last. So this week, the homepage is going to be debuting 2 more shows. If you guys watched last week, we had James Martin on from Inside Vaping.
Yep.
His show is going to air tomorrow night at 10 with us. So check out Inside Vaping tomorrow night at 10 on the homepage or on their YouTube. But they'll be using the same chat that everybody is in right now. And then Wednesday night at 9, a new show called The Reviewers Cube is starting, which is a whole bunch of people, about 20 of us or so, I would say. Different reviewers, big and smaller reviewers, are going to get together every week with a topic and kind of do a show. And talk to each other and be in the same room and hopefully not kill each other.
Bunch of opinionated.
Somebody was saying something.
Oh. Did Google just shit the bed?
Yeah, I'm having horrible connection issues.
Google's been having mini strokes for like the last month or so.
He's like, Google, are you old?
Blah, 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 blah.
Chuck's like, oh, everybody looks perfect.
Yeah, that's bad. So,
all right, I think we're better.
Reviewers Q. There's a bunch of reviewers going to get together and have a show. It's going to be awesome on the homepage.com/live.
Pretty much, yeah. The homepage, same chat, different YouTubes. Check them out if you're interested. Basti, what do you got?
It was good times.
Now, is Mass still frozen? I think Masty is still frozen.
What?
Duro said, we want Rip Trippers. We want Rip Trippers.
And Womp said, nobody wants Rip Trippers.
Nobody
dude,
wants
the connections, the connection speed just went to shit.
Yeah, dude.
I'm watching it. It's like 100K maybe at the most.
Thanks, Big
Google's
Google.
like, no bandwidth for you. Upstream we're good. Downstream is where we're getting.
Kapuya?
Am I coming through? Am I coming through okay or what?
Yeah, you're fine now, man.
I'm watching the connection speed and it's like boop boop boop. Dad. Looks like somebody's having a heart attack. Oh, there it goes. So, what I have here today is the SX Mini mod. I've had it for about a week and a half now. Okay, and you guys have already seen what it looks like, but there's some image porn. Here's a cool little the screen trick where, boop, screen flipped over for you.
Oh, fancy.
So, first thing I got to say about this mod is the weight of it, the sturdiness that you feel as soon as you are, using this mod is really nice. It's got a bottom lid that screws onto a tube on the bottom of the mod, and you basically positive side up, okay, and your battery goes in there. Kind of lines up with the Addy. It's really nice. It has this lip here where when you're holding it, it feels really good in the hand. I thought, man, it's kind of got that ZNA style face on it, and the material seems like cast, aluminum and with a nice finish on it. It's got an interesting coat. I've tried. I haven't really tried really hard to scratch it, but it feels smooth. But it seems yeah.
Go back to kind of close to the start of that because my shit just shit the bed, and I'm sure that it's gonna come up as like dead.
Yeah.
Your shit the bed. That's like
shit the bed.
Well, actually, we might still
join.
be okay, but my Chrome died.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to make sure you take the bed to take a poop before it goes to bed.
I should have thought about
bed.
Sure.
Maybe Google's getting hacked. The hacker's going at it. All right. So, anyways, here we go. We'll start over again. I have the SX Mini mod. Okay, 60 watt, single 18650. It's got a plate on the bottom you can unscrew. Battery goes in there, positive side up. Comes in a nice box. Says SX Mini on it by Yeehee. And you open it up, and it's got it's really nice packaging. You can see the SX Mini padded. It comes with a USB connector, normal USB to micro. It's got your user's manual pamphlet. And in here you'll find one of the coolest things is, you have your user manual. Okay, so you can either use this or you can do a QR code and scan that, get the manual. Nice thing is it's got a warranty card. Yes, they are giving a 1-year warranty on this device directly from Yeehee. Okay, so if you have bought the SX Mini and you have an issue with it, okay, you must present the card with the copy of the receipt from where you bought it. You can't obviously have the device open or anything like that, and you avoid the warranty if that happens. But I think this is really cool. So go and register it, and you'll be able to have your warranty honored by Yeehee. But more about the board itself. The board is the SX Mini board. Okay, and in this configuration, it's set up to do up to 60 watts. So basically, this one will do anywhere from 1 volt all the way to 9.5 volt. Okay, anywhere from a 0.15 to a 3 ohm on the resistance. It's got 3 modes, which we'll talk about in a second, which is powerful, standard, and soft. Nice thing is you can charge this directly with the battery in there. You don't have to be taking the battery in and out. And it also has a gravity sensor built in, and you can use that, or you can use the buttons. It's got reverse polarity protection, output short, low resistance protection, overheat, all that other stuff that you've grown to have on your SX mods.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Argatar is asking, is the SX Mini's firmware upgradable via USB?
It will be. Yes, it will be upgradable via USB. Okay. And I know that there's been some talk about, okay, well, this is the same board that was in my test box that was doing 120 watts. Why is that? Well, take a sip here. This is the same board in a single battery configuration, just like we showed with the board before. The board senses the lower voltage and limits you to 60 watts maximum power. Now, I know that there has been talk about an extender tube or an extender piece or something to make this device do 120 watts. Well, I can tell you that no matter what comes out or no matter what is done, something will have to be added to this. You cannot take this in its current form, okay? Now, remember, I'm saying in its current form, meaning like this, and make it do 120 watts, okay? Because it requires that extra power. Basically, the battery's in series. The reason I bring this up is I don't want people getting, I guess, basically getting comfortable with or being led to believe that if they buy this device, they're going to be able to upgrade it, just like a lot of the Yeehee chips have been doing, and you're going to get 120 watts. That's not the case. This device is being sold as a 60-watt device. That's all you're going to get out of it for right now, and anything extra that can be done or will be done, I don't, none of that has come from Yeehee. They haven't said. I'm not saying it's going to be impossible to do, but obviously Yeehee built the warranty and everything around this device, not add-ons or anything else. An extra pack to the side. So.
Did we just lose some people? We're losing people, son of a bitch. Oh. Are we getting Mass back?
Always freezes at the best parts.
So Foo's here fine. What about Brian? Brian just left. So how you doing, Foo?
I ain't bad.
Yeah,
Trying to weather this lag.
Serious lag on Google's part tonight.
Yeah, this is like bad.
Yeah, it is. Like.
Everybody died again. Yeah.
Man, we haven't had an issue like this for a long time.
At worst we've had like one bad lag spike, but it's just been constant, man.
Tonight's been bad, yeah. There we go.
So
all right.
Mass is back. Hey, I wanted to show one thing while you're going over the different features. I just got this from Nick Dogmods, and he thought this was a good comparison. I think that's probably accurate. This is an iStick compared to the Mini.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we hear you.
Oh, I think he just bounced too. I was gonna say, you know what? You're talking about pictures and Dogma. Why don't you just have him explain it? I mean, he's only had it for a few hours, but he's an expert on it already.
The size comparison is a good one, I think. I think it's a good thing to show.
Absolutely, it is. It
All right,
is. There it is. There it is, side by side with the eye stick, back and forth. I don't know, where did I go full Skrillex?
I don't know.
Yeah,
somewhere after the firmware upgrade.
Okay,
Yeah.
so anyways, firmware upgrade. Yes, you will be able to do a firmware upgrade on this. Guys in chat, if you see me, because you guys are noticing it a lot quicker, if I start Skrillexing again, I mean, it's still pretty low. I'm going to turn my resolution down a little bit. So
everybody looks a little better now to me.
Okay. So no, the main point that I wanted to stress was, don't buy this device if you think you're going to get 120 watts out of it. Okay, I don't want any misconceptions that you're buying this and the device comes out right now at $189.99, so $190 on veritube.com. He has them on sale up there right now. I've heard a lot of people say, hey, this is the same board that's in your test box that you were doing 120 watts with. What's the deal? This device is not being sold as a 120 watt device. It's being sold as a 60 watt device. Does Yeehee have plans in the futures to add any additions to this to make it dual battery? I don't know. I don't think so, and I don't know. Are aftermarket people going to make some? Possibly. Is that going to void the warranty on the device? I don't know. So I don't want people just getting that idea on their head that, well, hey, I will pay $189 for a 120 watt device if I have to use it at 60 for a while. Okay, so
well, the thing is, and the question is, and probably the reason they can't do 120 watts out of a single 18650, can they?
Correct, and that is the issue with keeping this device in the size configuration that it is. The board can do 120 watts with a dual battery configuration, and I think that's more for the modder side or for a different device that will be coming out that can provide that much power.
Yeah. So if you're buying that, you're getting 60 watts, and that's probably going to be it.
Correct. Now, what's to say that he won't find a way to design this and maybe use a LiPo with different voltage that can provide the 120 watts, but now the runtime is less. So you can see, I mean, the size is really what gives it away. I mean, that's not much bigger than the iYstick, you know, and it's a little fatter, but yeah, I mean, you have pick your poison on 18650. You know, you can run a 2600 mAh, you can run a 2100 mAh, whatever you want.
And power output too, right? I mean, compared to the
correct.
stick.
Yeah.
Correct. And our friend Eric from Silverstein Paper is asking, what's the battery life though, Master?
So battery life, I've actually, and I don't know. I haven't gotten to one of the things that I was showing. Did you guys get to see the thing about the warranty and the user manual? Okay, so one of the things that is really interesting with this board is the modes that it has. It has three modes. It has soft, it has standard, and it has powerful. The best way to describe this is soft is you slowly stepping in the accelerator so you don't burn out. Okay. So you're gonna get to your 50 miles an hour, but it's gonna do it gradually. Standard is your normal driving, power-wise, okay? And powerful is you just punched it and you got instant power like that. So I've been vaping it on the soft mode. The reason is because the ramp up of that power is, I think, with the juice that I'm using is great. Because I have the homes set, these type of RDAs you really don't want to set too high. I have this thing set to 40 watts, okay? Because it's got airflow, but you can't be doing 60 watts on this thing. I mean, you can, but it's pretty instant. And the battery life has actually been really good on this. I've gotten definitely over a day of usage out of I believe I have a 2100 mAh VTC 4 in here. And I don't know if it has to do with those modes. I haven't gone a whole day with the other modes yet. But, I mean, the powerful mode on 60 watts, it's like you hit the button and it's instant. Instant. You can hold it like this and you can see, you could see instant vapor like that. So that's going to be the interesting part, is going from powerful to that. Now, when you have the mode set, for example, on soft, okay, it doesn't do like the DNA where you see the wattage floating around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me turn this up so you guys can see it a little bit better. Okay, so when you fire it, it's actually, and mind you, this battery, I've been using it I charged it for about 2 hours today in my car. Okay, so that's the soft setting, and you can see that the wattage stays, but you're not getting 40 watts right away. I can tell, and that's part of that joules meter that it's got on the bottom. I heard somebody saying that the screen was a little too complicated. Look, the screen is about. I think it's a really good size. You have your ohms, you have your voltage, you have your mode, you have the voltage of the battery and your wattage.
And then I like that screen.
Yeah, it is. It's very informative in a small platform. And then at the bottom, you have the joules. Now, what they're going to do with that joule counter, I don't know. Why they have it there, I don't know. Because all it's doing is, unless you reset your battery, it's just giving you a total in your daily joule usage, as if you would want to have that. Anyways, who knows? They might change that to something else. But the modes really work. And I had a conversation with some of the folks, and especially with Dog Mods and Perry from Veritube. And I think that we all agree that this, for some reason, vapes smoother than a regular SX350 board, okay, at, let's say, for example, 40 watts. And I think Yeehee has gotten better at regulating that power. By having those modes in there, I think they've gotten better at, regulating the power and delivering it. So it seems smoother. I don't know. Again, that might just be the modes. I'd need a lot longer than a week testing it. But overall, when I heard what this was going to be priced at, I said, there's no way people are going to pay $190 for a 60-watt device. Then I got it in my hand. I felt how sturdy it felt. I saw the size of it. And, I kind of knew what the size of the board looked like. And, here's the board in my test box. And, you can kind of see, that board has taken up every inch of this device.
Mm-hmm.
So they've made that package as small as possible. So is the battery. The battery goes in there pretty far. You have a regular 18650 sitting next to this thing. It doesn't leave much room for the pin of the Addy and everything. One of the things that I noticed, I'll go into some of the, not necessarily negatives, but things that we've reported back to Yeehee about, is the 510. So the 510 pin is self-adjusting, okay, and it's got a really thick O-ring down at the bottom, and it is a very, very strong pin, which is something you want, right? You don't want something to just push it down and get stuck. The 510, you really gotta, put some pressure on it, and you'll get some feedback as it's pushing down. Now, one thing that I did notice was that the threads were a little loose on certain Addies that have, and this is not anything wiggling in here, it's just in the threads. So as you're screwing down, keep that in mind, and try to be as straight as possible. I don't think you're going to strip the threads on this, because it looks like a piece of stainless. So
the chat is abuzz right now with would not pay for 60 watts, not worth it. Mass got that one for free.
I did not pay for it at all. And I have this reviewing because I wanted to bring it to you guys. Now here's the thing that I like about it, and that I would buy it. Price wise, is the size. I gotten so accustomed to carrying this thing around that something like this would definitely be worth it. Now, again, people are going to say, I think people have gotten used to the the cost of the SX mods with the SX350. So when you try to compare with the SX mini board, there's obviously going to be cheaper prices out there. Now, is Yeehy going to lower their price? I don't think so. I mean, this is a well-made device. That's kind of like saying you're getting a ZNA and you're comparing it to a device with a DNA board in it, in a tube style. So I don't know. The other thing that I like about it is the obviously being able to charge on board, and the button. The button was a big issue because we've heard a lot of the rattling with buttons in like the DNA, the Vapor Shark DNAs and stuff like that. And the power button, they did a really good job on doing that. But yeah, like I said, people are going to say that the price is super expensive, and that's why I wanted to point out, don't look at this device at 120 watt device, so because I know what will happen is people will buy this and say, well, someone said that they were going to make an extension tube for it and make an 120 watt device. That's a lot of
don't bet on
onto that.
Yeah,
right,
a lot of
exactly.
But
exactly.
Here's the thing, man. Honestly, for people talking about the price, how many? There's a lot of people who own a Solero, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Solero is about the same price. It's $175 retail. It's a 30 watt device.
Yep.
It's also just like the SX Mini, manufactured in China. So,
right.
You have you have a DNA chip in this, but the Yeehy chips are more expensive typically anyway.
Yeah.
They are, and the other thing that we have said many times on the show is don't be like obsessed over the whole wattage chasing game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can keep adding more and more watts. It's like adding megapixels on a digital camera. At some point, it doesn't really matter if you're getting an accurate measurement, an accurate delivery of power that's going to get you a really solid, say, 60 watts. That could be just as good and just as satisfying as a shittily made 20 watt device with battery stack.
For 30 megapixels, your pictures still probably suck.
Yeah,
for something made like that,
right.
For something that's got, I love that the curve in the back. It's very comfortable. It's a custom made, like it's made to be a vape device. It's not a project box, not to knock project boxes.
Yeah.
But it's not a project box. It's a device that's made to be vaped. And it's very similar in style to things that cost between $100 and $400 more than it.
Yep.
So let me zoom up on you there. So I mean, you're looking at, for me, 180 for a really nice, like rough and tumble all day device like that. I have no problem paying that cost.
Yeah. Yeah, and hey. You guys know me. I could care less if you buy it or don't buy it.
Absolutely.
It's going to hurt my feelings. I'm not trying to pimp any company or anything else. What I'm showing you is a review of it. What I will say is once again, you have to also think about this as their design. Okay, so it looks like the ZNA. Well, hey, if somebody else makes a battery, everyone's going to say, oh, it looks like the Sony VTC5 or something like that. But it doesn't. It's completely different. It's something new. Just like we'll talk about this later, like we talked about Sigeli and the Taiji, there always will be someone who will say, oh, well, they copied this or copied that. So I think a lot of the pricing has gone into the design, and I mean, we can have this talk all day, clones versus the copies and all this other stuff. But I will say this, they're using their own board that they created for this. It wasn't a board that was out there. It wasn't a design that was out there. The second thing is I think that they're trying to get into a market to get, to basically have also devices. They worry a lot about their self-image, right? So, but they also give you the option. See, here's something that people always overlook when they see a price tag. Okay, we're not going to say 190. Just a price tag is this board was never going to be released to modders at all. Okay, the only way you were going to be able to get this board and get these features was buying a device. Now, after a lot of push from the community, they changed their mind and they are releasing the board to modders in the future. So you can either buy the $190 device now, and get this board. And yeah, it can do 60 watts only. Okay, so a lot of people are going to get hung up on that. Or you can wait and get the board and do whatever you want with it. But don't expect the board to be the same price as the SX350. Okay, because it is a complete redesign. It's got a complete different screen, so it's gonna be closer to that $100 mark. And I know the price might already be out there. I don't remember right off the top of my head, but the board is not going to be cheap. So you're already paying a good amount for the board itself.
Yeah.
Now, the positive of buying the board is you could have it do 120 watts.
Yeah.
You put it in a box, you can do that. So at least they're given that option. So they're not closing off saying you can only get this board on this device. So if you are interested in it and you're thinking about getting it, I say get it. If the money is not an issue, if the 60 watts is not an issue, if any of the other negative stuff that you want to say about it is not an issue, then I say it's worth it. When you're looking at a VaporShark DNA. Those are hovering around what? 180?
$179.
DNA, yeah, 190 or something.
So 180. So, and that's the RDNA, right?
That's the RDNA. The other one's $10 cheaper, I think.
Okay, so you're looking at a single 18650 also,
Yeah.
And so if you want to talk about pricing, let's price it out at something that's around the same area. If you want to talk about wattage, let's price it. Let's talk about it at a wattage of that. I mean, so. You're looking at 40 watts versus 60. You're looking at temperature control versus no temperature control. You're looking at a different package style.
Although that one says powerful on it sometimes.
You're also looking at a working chip versus a non-working chip.
I mean, don't get me wrong. This has been a great little device, but the fact that it's about the same price as that, I think it's a pretty fair comparison. I mean, this one I like the form factor. It's small.
Yeah.
Same with this. I mean, this being a 30 and being about the same price, that's smaller than this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's...
Yeah.
And for the guy in chat a minute ago, hold on. For the guy in chat who said I'm knocking box mods, all I've owned for the last year was Project Box mods. That's it. That's all I've used.
Yeah. And I mean, I expected that price range to be close to that. I know that it's the first iteration of it. Obviously, something similar around this style of device. I don't feel it cheap. People say when the SX boards came out, they were like, oh, it's just another cheap Chinese knockoff. And it wasn't. The SX boards are here to stay. I mean, we have to say it. And now there's a mod out, and I think people will still get stuck on, well, it's coming from overseas in China, so it should automatically be cheap.
So are the VaporSharks, and so are the Beyond Vape Solaras, and it's not just this.
And don't forget, there's some really fancy spendy mods that come from overseas.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. And honestly, I think again, I'm not here trying to sell you anything. Don't fucking buy it. Buy it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically where we sit. Because, good.
Sorry, I was going to ask you. There's a question from the chat. Lou Stella's asking, Mass, what's that hole on top next to the 510?
That is a screw that basically holds internals together. I don't know if you guys can see it right there.
Yeah.
Okay. And I had my scale. I was going to weigh it. But yeah, you have two screws down at the bottom. Kind of like I think the Waparis do that too, and the Zeros and stuff. They have
it's something similar, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's one on the top. And the nice, the button doesn't rattle, doesn't move. It's really interesting. It has it's got a I don't know if you can pick it up. Let me see. It's got a clicky, nice feedback on it, but it's not. Best way I can describe it is it's not a button pushing a button. Okay, so it's not a. It doesn't feel like a button on the board being pushed by another plastic button, which can sometimes cause it to rattle and push in. So, but yeah, there you have it. I mean, the SX Mini. So.
Word. So we had a couple people joining late, and they were hoping they didn't miss the
crucifixion.
Oh no, it's
Before we do that one, I want to do the other one first because we're not confirmed.
Nice mute.
What did you want to bring up first, Sean?
We talked about this a little bit last night, if you guys remember the mod.
Yes. Yes.
So I have some pictures queued up here of a. Nice, wrong window, muted myself.
I was gonna say he didn't even mute you.
So,
Crucifixions the first.
Crucifixions the first.
So this has been going around Facebook and Reddit and everywhere.
I queued up what I think are the two best pictures to explain this.
That's a good one, and that's also a good one. Oh, not safe for life, by the way.
Yeah.
Avert your eyes, you squeamish.
It could still just be tomato juice.
So the comment is that it's a non-MOFSET box mod, and as much as I would love to be like, we told you, I don't know that it's 100% verified, and I've seen too many of these things come through that are fake.
Yeah, like the guy with the hand that blew up a few months ago.
There's way too many of these that come through fake.
Right.
So, you know.
But it's something we should probably talk about because that particular picture looks pretty brutal.
Yes, it does.
The other one, who knows? But that one looks pretty brutal.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pieces.
I mean, Mass, you have any comment on this?
The right leg looks weird.
Are those the only two pictures that you have?
I have all of them. I'll queue up the other ones while you're talking.
Yeah, put the other ones up. So the story on this is still unfolding, and some people were saying it was one of those Titan box mods. It's not a tank crossing box mod because those were using an actual physical mechanical switch.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell on the outside of the box that wasn't it. That switch looks like one of those, 40 amp switches bought on eBay. Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's not a lot of information. Apparently, the guy's friend is the one who posted this. Not a lot of information about it, but they're saying that it was an Addy short that caused that. So, I'm not sure. I just, you could tell the one there. It's got the wire going up to it. My thing is so you see all these pictures, okay, and you have a wood box, okay. If the batteries were to vent inside the device, why is the outside of the box charred?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he might have had it in his pants, and he might have dropped it and stuff like that. But I'm not trying to be CSI investigator here, but that's a lot of we know that the batteries can create that much heat.
Plus, it's spread over such a large area. It's weird too, right?
Right. And I mean, he could have dropped it, and the batteries could have been right next to it, burning. But every piece of wood is charred.
Yeah.
Which it's kind of interesting. I'm also interesting to see what batteries were in there. And it bothers me because the person who posted it said this happened to my friend. Well, how good of a friend is it? And we're worried about his safety and his leg, and hope everything's is going okay if this is a true story. But don't post stuff like this online and say nothing about how it happened, what happened.
Yeah.
Just don't just post this and say, oh, it was a Addy short. I'm just keeping an eye on chat to see if anybody else knows anything else about it. But I don't.
To me, what's fishy is burn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like somebody chucked it in a fire, really, to me. That's what it looks like.
If it was like in your back pocket or something, that's one thing. But it was down the entire, the whole back of his leg, like his hamstring down.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been, basketball shorts. But if it was catching on fire like that, basketball shorts are usually the mesh. The mesh could have gotten stuck to his skin if it was on fire. So it's possible the battery's leaking any fluid out of it. Who knows?
Who knows?
To me, the only thing that I don't understand is the charring of the box on each side. I mean, shit, that thing could have been on fire in his pocket for 2 minutes.
Right.
We don't know. And that's probably how it got all that shit on the outside of it. But I really hope more information comes out about this. That the person who was injured by this says, here's what happened. I had it in my pocket, and that shit was on fire. I fell down, and it was in my pocket, and I don't know. I don't know where to go with this. So
Durosig says the FDA posted that picture.
Now, I think it's worth mentioning that this does not change our stance on non-MOSFET boxes or MOSFET boxes.
Yeah.
But because we cannot verify the legitimacy, I'm not going to say I can't sit here and say, yeah, this definitely happened and it was terrible and real.
Right.
So,
right. The end. Enough on
it.
the hypothesis and the unproven no source news story.
Yeah, pretty much.
Somebody asked in chat for us to talk about it, so
yep,
worth at least saying, hey, we don't know.
Worth the mention. So now the hat goes on full business mode for the next
business mode engaged.
It is time. Fuck you, Chance.
Alright,
Anyway.
who's kicking this off?
I thought Ahmed.
Who's doing it?
Anyway, so Aspire Atlantis. It is like all the fucking rave. But if you recall, in the earlier days of Plumes, as you know, the wicking and the coil of the Atlantis is made out of ceramic fibers. We had addressed something similar earlier in the days of Plumes with XC116 ceramic wick. Great flavor, but even if you kiln it, reverse the process if you cut it. And just ceramic fibers being held in the event of a dry burn, if you ever dry burned on XC, that shit sucks. Aside from its taste, like, the health effects and all that. Something similar is happening with the wicking material on the Atlantis. Sean, if you want to pull up the pictures.
And we have said...
someone looked at, under a microscope, the wick on the Atlantis.
And we've said on a few shows prior that if it's ceramic, we had serious concerns. It's not just the Atlantis either. It's the Aspire Mini and the Nautilus as well that use this wicking material.
Yes, so it was put under a microscope side by side with just regular, like, Japanese or organic cotton. One thing to notice, for instance, if you happen to be, like, for an example, if you sit somewhere that's really dusty, you're going to get sniffly, you're going to cough it up, right? You see, like, you've been, like, dusty or anything, you blow your nose, that shit gets caught by your defense system in, like, your breathing path.
Yep.
Smaller the fibers are, for instance, in ceramic wick, are harder to get out. They can get deeper into your lungs. Not so much it's just studies that have been done on previous materials like asbestos insulation and all of that, fiberglass, etc. It's hard to get out. The smaller the fibers are, and that's what this shows, is that the fibers are very small on the wicks. Now,
and very crystalline.
Very crystal-like. And the thing is, like, obviously nothing is conclusive, like absolutely conclusive yet, but
it's enough to creep someone out.
It creeps me out, especially knowing people who have had and have died of, like, something like pulmonary fibrosis from being exposed to certain insulation materials and breathing shit that they're not supposed to be breathing in over time. The thing is, Atlantis, people are running it at 30 watts, 40 watts, and they're like Josh Wilson hitting it like... You're inhaling it really, really fucking hard. Oh my god. Anyway.
Hard and deep into the lung, too.
The thing is that I'm not telling you not to use it, but just to be aware of these things, because I'm not going to fucking tell you what to do. That's never been really our prerogative, is to tell you. But the thing is that it's something that's of enough concern to us that this person took the time to make us aware of, and we feel we should do the same.
Agreed.
I'm looking for the magnification sizes they were asked. Those photos are over 50 times magnified. The silica shards are very small, and I guess a mesh shield would not have stopped, or a mesh shield could potentially not stop it.
Which that part to me is interesting. So, because that says to me that they know that this stuff does come loose, right? So that's why they put that little mesh on top. So they know it happens. So they put in a small sort of effective physical measure to try to stop it. But I don't know. That says to me that they know it's there and they know that could happen, which is why it's there.
Yeah, and the thing is, obviously, vaping is not 100% safe. It is, as Understudy told me a while ago, and I agree with, a calculated risk.
Yeah.
With that sentiment, I don't want to make it a bigger calculated risk than it has to be.
Right. And we've said over and over again that no wicking, there's no sort of wick that any of us has known or seen or used that is 100% safe. Every single wick has got some things in it that is not great for you because we're not breathing in just clean air, right? We're definitely breathing in.
Yeah, I would imagine mesh is if mesh is properly oxidized, it's probably the safest.
So there are a large number of studies about inhalation risks of ceramic and inhalation risks of fiberglass material. Now, Aspire says on their site that it's a proprietary blend that they've had created, and they have a test. And I have the test, and I'm going to share the test. It's not going to show on screen share, I don't think. But I'm sharing the test in chat right now. I'll put it in the video description. Basically to find out if lead, mercury, cadmium, chromium, and all that stuff, is it within limits, safety limits for fiberglass material. So if you look at this, like, there is some amount of lead detected. It's under the limit of 1,000, but there is some lead content detected. And they didn't find any cadmium. So, I mean, it's an interesting test, but it doesn't really have anything about inhalation.
Right.
And I don't
the fibrous
know
material.
that they tested it for inhalation.
And the thing is that before we only found this out the other day, and when people were first getting their Atlantis tanks, some people that we know and don't know were complaining of getting, say, a scratchy throat from it, or like getting like the wicking material on their lip or on the inside, on the inside of their drip tip.
Right.
That alone is kind of just like,
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. I've never had that issue. I've never vaped on, like, when I was using Cleros, like the silica wick that comes with it. I never had that, shoot up through my drip tip or something. I never had, like, bits of wick on the inside of my mouth. Like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, and Fu said it too. Vape what you want to vape, because it is a calculated risk.
Yep.
We're not necessarily here to tell you that it's going to kill you, but we just want to make sure that this is known so that people are aware that, this is potentially what they're vaping.
We don't want to ruin everybody's happy Nautilus party or Atlantis party.
Sorry, Matt.
Sorry, Matt. But
Sorry, not
the
so
information
much.
needs to be out there so you can make your own choices. The end.
Yes.
The end.
There's also a video of a guy
I'm
pushing the fuck out of that wicking material too, by the way.
Right.
Oh yeah. Do you have that? Are you going to show that?
I don't have that queued up now.
We did have one comment from the chat. Blood spreader says, should we just rebuild the Atlantis coil as soon as we get it, since it's confirmed to be ceramic based? And if that's your choice to use cotton, which it is mine and others in here, yes. I mean, like, is from all reports, it's a good tank, but I think I would choose a different wick personally.
Yeah.
Now the other the thing that I kind of mentioned earlier when I was talking about the sub-tank, and I got to give Kanger a good on for this. The sub-tank pre-made coils are built with Japanese cotton. And it comes with a sheet of Japanese cotton to put in the rebuildable. So,
Is that right?
Yes.
That's cool.
So if you're a cotton vapor and if you want to try the sub-tank, that exists as an option too if you don't want to rebuild your coils.
Until they test that cotton and they find out that it's sheep's wool and it's bred
From
in
Chernobyl. It's sheep from Chernobyl.
Yeah, I mean,
So somebody said, what about fiberglass in your attic and air conditioning system?
That's different. Fiberglass really is different.
Yes. It's also very different than, I'm not going up to my air conditioning system and going,
Yeah.
in my air
Soaking it in
conditioning
juice
system.
and putting some power through it.
I mean, the concern is that you're literally deeply inhaling this, and it's right next to your face, and you're atomizing a wick off of it. I mean, that's really the concern, and none of it has been tested for that specifically because of how new vaping is. But we do know that ceramic has inhalation risks in high enough amounts from stuff like air conditioning systems.
And with, the
Flint
miracle
says-
insulator known as asbestos.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different animals, same kind of beast, but the thing is that was prolonged exposure. I mean, not direct inhalation, but prolonged exposure.
But and that's the other thing that people forget about the whole asbestos thing is that when asbestos is there and stable inside a wall, it's fine. There's ain't nothing wrong with it. Problem is when you start breaking it up and it starts crumbling.
You
it
better
gets
hope
dry.
someone doesn't have a bad day or gets fired and punches a hole in that wall.
Right.
And you're fucked.
That's when it gets problematic. So I mean, we were talking. We actually exchanged some messages with some other folks, including Scott. I get you 69, and he mentioned something that's very accurate. That when the wicks when it's wet, it takes the thought of when you try to like imagine what these coils look like, and the air whooshing past them and stuff. When the coils are wet and the wick is wet, yeah, it's probably going to sit tight, right? Probably.
I've also had somebody else tell me that there's no way.
Right. Well, that's the thing is if you've ever seen a coil that's popping, it's popping, and there's stuff exploding off of it and moving out of there, and you're like we said, deeply inhaling off of these things because that's the way it's made to be vaped. I can see some of that stuff happening, and that's just not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a risk I'm willing to take, but yeah, and I'll to be completely honest, when cotton first became a wicking material, a lot of people were saying the same thing about cotton.
Sure. Yeah. There's a couple key chemicals that are emitted from cotton when it gets too hot too, and that's what we said earlier. None of these wicks are perfectly safe. All of them have risks.
I don't like people playing with my wick. I keep it real.
All right, let's move on.
I think we only got one thing left, right?
The last
The contest is still open for the 1 year show, and we are building prizes, and they're awesome.
All
including
the fucking giveaways.
Oh well, do we want to talk about a couple? So.
No.
Yeah.
We're not talking about what we're giving away. We're just saying we're giving away some shit, man.
It's going to be a lot of shit, but you have to actually enter and give us some timestamps if you want to win some shit of best moments of the show.
Otherwise, we'll just
homework, motherfuckers. January 5th is the 1 year show, so.
No, it's not. It's the next show after that, but January 5th is the deadline, probably.
Pretty sure
January 12th is the 1 year show. Our first show is on January 13th.
Yeah, and those drip tips were glass.
All right, next. Let's get this last thing out of the way. Let's go.
Yep. Basti, you're up.
I'm up for what?
We got this last thing to talk about.
Turn down for what?
Turn down.
Okay, so we basically said last week that we were going to have a raffle for a really cool device that has been in beta, I'd say, for over a month now. It's been over a month and a half. Yeah, close to 2 months. And this is the little endeavor that myself and another box modder basically came together with an idea and a few other people, and we decided that we wanted to create a mechanical box mod that was that came in at an attractive price and was something that gave more to the user. And basically, you have all these boxes, and you see us talking about it on the show. You have all these boxes out there that are, there's no MOSFETs in them. A lot of people say we don't need them. They have these, weird switches, all that stuff. So we basically said, hey, let's see how stupid we can be and create a box mod that is gonna make us no money, and we're doing it for for the vapors out there. So, and I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, right, you're doing it for the vapors. You got to be doing it for some money, of course, for the parts and a little bit of the labor. But we wanted to come up with something that would be nice and attractive. So the first box ever made out of this production, we're going to raffle off. And before we get any further, I want to bring in another one of the modders, and we'll bring him in now so we can talk to him about this device and its features.
Sorry.
So who's gonna
I'm sorry.
Who's gonna translate? Who's gonna translate for him? He's directly from Malaysia. We have I don't
speak that.
I don't even know what we're gonna call him. No, he's not at my house, and he doesn't do the nails in my sweatshop. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna call him.
Plushie.
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 As known as Plushie.
As known as.
Remember,
And for those who don't know, he cropped his feed because he's too lazy to clean his desk.
That too.
welcome. So, and as he's telling you about this, I'm almost done creating the raffle site so we can put it up there. So, there you have it.
All right. So what Mass and I and other people have come up with is a sub-mechanical box mod with a MOSFET to handle all that current, and we're gonna make it safe. And the really cool thing about it is we're really going all out on this with say a flush 510 on the box. We're going to use anti-vandal stainless steel switch, and the insides are really cool. It's the cleanest looking MOSFET box I've ever seen. Not just because we designed it ourselves, but
Well,
just giving a little credit to where it's.
You gotta forgive him. This is the first time he's been live on anything.
Yeah.
Speaking to other people. Used to be in
He's global, but he's not global.
But you know what? We did a lot of cool things with this, right, Mast? We've gone through many iterations for the past 3 months or so, talking with you back and forth, and see what we wanted to put in it. So right now, the production models are going to include a feature that really we don't see much of these MOSFET boxes going around with. So with the MOSFET box that we're going to release, you can fire it, and it'll fire, but then if you click it 5 times, it won't fire.
So it's gonna have a 5-click on, 5-click off feature. Locking feature on the device.
on a mech box. That's crazy.
On a mech box, that's correct. And the mech box is going to be so some of the specs we can talk about is dual 18650s set up in parallel, basically giving you all the mods. And here's something before we get more into the specs of it. This isn't something that we're just throwing together and putting this out there. A lot of you guys know my fundamentals when building mods and stuff like that, and that's why it's been in a very, very close, maybe 1 or 2 person beta. Then it went to a 10-person?
7, 8, I think.
8-person beta, and we basically said take this and
Push it and destroy it.
Yeah, try to destroy it. Build as low as you can on it, as long as your batteries are capable. And the responses that we got back, we completely redesigned the internals during the beta. Not so much because of the beta team, but just because we said, you know what? No, we can't. We're not going to do it this way. We're going to do it this way. And so there's been some time and definitely a lot of money and building and changing things around. So
Spicy from the chat wants to know if it supports nickel wire.
We don't support nickel wire on this just because this is straight up mech mod.
Yeah,
It would be dangerous to do.
As somebody who did beta test it, what's nice is that, as everyone knows, like, I was the only one in Plumes for a while who was consistently used a mech with my dripper, because everyone else had a fucking Duke. Anyway, there's less battery sag. It hits harder and lasts longer than my last boyfriend. So
yeah, and yeah, some of the I know some of one of the pictures I put up. Those are all obviously you can see they're a beta. They're a beta versions. So a lot has changed in between that. So one of the things that we wanted to do was be clean. B, we didn't want covers on anything, and here's why. I have a really big problem with buying a mech box, buying any kind of box, regulated, whatever, not being able to see what the hell has this person done behind this, closed off little area. A lot of people will put their void stickers over that, and a lot of the times you cut that open and flip that open, and all it is a, your 40 amp switch with wires going up to it, and you're like, what the hell is this?
Wires without insulators as well.
Also, that's another thing too. Wires without insulators. And that's something that I strongly was against. I didn't want to cover anything up, So without covering stuff up, it obviously makes it a little bit more difficult to keep things clean when you're looking at them. Not having wires going all over the place. So we took care and detail in doing that also, and being able to, hey, you want to see what's in it? You can see what's in it right there. Now we don't suggest. Right. We don't suggest you go in and start, cutting the MOSFET out and seeing, what MOSFET it is and what you're doing. I mean, we'll tell you.
Yeah, we'll tell you that it uses dual. We're using a dual MOSFET design so that it decreases the load on the MOSFET itself, so you could build lower at more safely.
Yeah, and we've had it down, and what we're going to say about the specs, obviously that can change, but it'll be how safe do you can be with batteries that you're using. We obviously don't suggest you're building a 0.1 on Orbtronic 10 amp batteries, keeping that with safety. But I think, having the flush 510 at the top, having the configuration on the battery sleds as we do, and some of the features with the on-off, the 5-click on-off is actually kind of neat. So,
but everybody's freaking out in chat right now. They want price.
Oh,
okay.
Should we get them the price?
Yeah,
I don't think they're ready for price.
I don't think anybody's going to expect it, and I swear to God, Whomper, if you spoil it, I'll kill you.
I don't know. It's all you, Mast.
Oh yeah. So the price is going to be at $100 or less. So we're looking at anywhere from $97 to $100 for basically retail, and we'll also have some shops lined up already, and we will be doing wholesale. Yeah, it's going to be at $100 or under $100 for a. Now again, we'll go into pricing. Yes, there's mech boxes that are under $100 out there, and that's great. When we first started talking about American-made mods that were under $100 in the U.S., where there was a mech box or a mech mod itself, there's a lot of excitement to that, because I honestly think the more competitive you get with the price, the harder it is for overseas to try to clone you. I'm not saying that they won't, but it makes it affordable for people. I've always been the believer that we try to price things to something where people can afford them. So we're coming in at under $100, so anywhere from $97 to $100, and that's going to be the selling price on that. So
and people also want to know, because we're doing the raffle for the first one, but they want to know, where can they get one?
So the first initial batch, we're going to be releasing 6 different colors, exclusively sold through labratliquids.com, and from then on, it's just going to be black, what you see here, a stainless steel button, but you still get all the same features: 5-click lock, flush 510. We did add a notch in the bottom because the magnets were so strong that a lot of our beta users were having a hard time popping off the lids. So it'll be easier for you to pop your lid off.
And everything's been machined into the boxes. Isn't cut in with Dremel or anything like that.
Yeah.
Don't worry, if you guys know Plushie here, you know that his cutting skills are shit, so he didn't do any cutting on the box. Sorry, man, I had to.
I know, dude. Whatever. But you know what? I made it up with this box.
Yeah, I've done all the milling on the boxes to flush the 510s down, and basically have have the lid lip down at the bottom so you can pull it off. So one of the concerns that came up was, okay, so what if I have a Addy that is bigger than 22 millimeters? Is it going to fit? It'll fit just fine. The 510s are set basically a cunt hairs higher than the top of the box. So when you put your that's the best way to describe it.
Well,
Honestly.
Sean, if you want to
put that on the website. We should put that up on the website.
I'm gonna ask out loud. I'm just queuing it. Somebody did ask too. Will there be a Plumes of Hazard graphic option?
That's debatable. You might.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, so we'll talk about it. Yes, it in the future it will be an option. So I don't see why not. But one thing that we wanted to worry about was to make sure that all our ducks were set in a row. Make sure that there isn't going to be any pre-sales. I can tell you that right now, through us or through LabRat. When you pay for it, it ships. Okay, so there ain't going to be none of this. I'm going to pay you $100, and maybe in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you're going to get something. So now we are going to stress that to the vendors that we're dealing with. The pricing it might not be the same with vendors. The vendors are allowed to set their pricing, but we are pushing for $100
retail
or less. Okay, so you might have a vendor that is feeling gracious and he's only going to charge $95 plus $3 shipping, or you're going to have a vendor that's going to charge you $100 with shipping included, or you're going to have a vendor that's going to charge you $94. So we are stressing the $100 to a point to, if it comes to it, we will stop distributing boxes to the vendor if they go above $100.
Right, because that's one of the beauty of this box is.
That's how much we believe in having the box at that price point. Now, hey, you want to take the box and you want to go sell it, and somebody wants to pay you $200 on the spot for it? We don't care. Have at it. Okay, so
we assume that this is one Duke tall and one Duke wide, and
it's exactly one Duke tall, one Duke wide.
Yeah, it is a Hammond 1590G box, and again, we're an open book here. We're not trying to run fast one past anyone. Anything you want to know about the box, we'll tell you. Everything that we have shown it's what's there. There's no magic fairy dust that makes these things work, and everybody knows that.
Let's do the when and the how much so that we can all go to bed.
So the when is we're aiming for next week, somewhere either in the middle or the end of next week. They'll go live. Just because we're still in the middle of production right now, and there's a lot of work that goes on to these boxes. Everybody thinks that it's simple to make a MOSFET box, but not the way that we designed it.
Yeah.
So
basically, keep an eye out on labratliquids.com on his website, and obviously we will let you know on Plumes. The raffle we're going to start tonight, and the raffle winner is going to be. It's going to be
going on for a week and announced.
Right, it's going to be going on for a week, and the winner is going to be chosen on the 22nd, which is going to be next week, next Plumes show. The cost for the raffle is going to be $5 per ticket, so the total is going to be like $5.60. We're trying to do this as legit as possible. Okay, we're not using PayPal. We have a processor set up. I'm actually in the process of doing that right now, so that way we hopefully don't have any issues. And one of the things that I wanted to say about the raffle was right now choosing of plushies. There's going to be a
we're going to give a percentage donated. Right.
So there's going to be 10% donated by each of us. So 5% each.
Right.
If we had $100, if we go to $200, we're going to be donating 20% to a charity of our choice, and we will post screenshots and all that. And hey, if we hit $300, I'm not saying anything, but we'll go to 30%. So, this is really about getting this box out there for the viewers, and I will put a picture up of what the box face looks like, and
these are the ones that LabRat are going to get on his site exclusively for the initial release.
Right, and this is just a quick look at what this one looks like, and the nice thing about this is, let me see if I can rotate it here. You guys have seen this box before because I have used this box on the show to show sizes and stuff like that. So it has a few minor scratches on the finish. It is the two-tone black and clear red color. And as you can see Titan, and it says limited edition with a 00 down at the bottom. So this is my personal box that I had made. It's got a machine looked on the center of it, and it looks really cool. It looks really cool in person. Obviously, this is just the pre-shot of it. You're going to have your magnets in there. You're going to have your switch, your flush 510. So that's the picture that you're going to see. So,
well, keep in mind that that's one of one color that's going to be available in the limited edition versions.
Correct.
And both Mass and I are going to sign the inside of the box.
Yeah, and also the limited edition ones, I believe, I don't have any pictures of the color combinations here, but you'll find out more on laboratteliquids.com.
International shipping.
For the raffle, we will do international. You know what? Let's not limit this to U.S. only.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What about in general?
In general, it depends on the vendors, right? The online vendors, depending on who will be able to ship internationally, will do so. They're not going to be limited. We're not going to limit them at all. But that's just up to the vendors completely.
All right.
When do you guys want to set the deadline? Sunday?
Sunday night.
Sunday at midnight?
Yeah.
Okay, so Sunday at midnight. It'll end. Okay, so just making sure we have all that set. I'm hopefully. I think we got it set up. So let me publish this thing and.
We'll make sure to post it in the Facebook group and stuff too.
Yeah. So the total for each ticket is going to be $5.60. Keep a lookout on the Plumes website.
I will also put it in the video description of this video.
That sounds good.
It'll be on there. And okay, so I will post the page. Guys, tell me if you can get to. Let's see. See if we can get to this. Are we seriously over on time?
Yep.
Well,
Let's go.
There's a good question in chat, actually. Do you guys have plans for a couple of runs, or is this going to be a 1 or 2 run thing?
So Timberwolf
Check that link, please.
asked for a warranty. The warranty on these boxes will be 3 months full warranty. You just pay shipping both ways, and then after that, you just have to pay for parts and shipping afterwards.
Yeah, so it'll be a full manufacturer's warranty.
You can buy
defects, anything like that. But we're not going anywhere. So this isn't going to be like one day we're going to turn on and say, no, screw you, we're not going to repair any of your parts. So if something happens, whatever it might be, you strip a 510, you lose magnets on the lid, you lose your lid, whatever it might be, contact us. We'll be putting our email. You guys, we'll have it all on the Plumes page.
Speaking of the 510, we're actually going to use those unreleased Veritubes.
Yeah. So we'll update the picture on this box too for you guys. So.
All right. Well, is that it, guys? We good?
And someone asked, can we buy more than one ticket? Of course you can. This is the raffle is not going to limit you from buying more than one ticket, and
so there
increase your chances of winning.
So there you have it. This is the second time we've ever brought a modder on a hostful show, so mark that one down. First one was Eric from Silverstein.
Yep. From Silverstein, yeah.
Queens boys.
Yeah. Oh, Sean, can you back my control room actually?
You don't have it?
No, I don't.
All right, guys.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming out.
Have a good night. Thanks for watching.
Peace.
Peace.